Sitting against Zachariah Anderson. This is a Zoom hearing being live streamed. No, well, it is being live streamed on video on YouTube. And appearing our Assistant District Attorney Zachary Brost for the state, the defendant by Attorney John Birdsall, and the defendant in person in the custody of the sheriff. I think Kirk O'Bear is also on for the defense. And it's here on a waiver of extradition. What's the status of this matter? It's extradition being sought by the state of South Dakota, I think.
Yeah, Judge, we're not contesting the.
Who is speaking?
Mr. Birdsall is talking.
Sorry.
And you're not contesting the extradition?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Johnson, it is being reported, Anderson, it is reported that you are being sought by authorities in the state of
South Dakota.
South Dakota, and I'm further told that you wish to waive extradition and consent voluntarily to accompany agents of the governor of South Dakota to that state to face the charges pending against you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm happy to face the charges.
You don't have to agree to this if you don't want to, and if you don't want to, you're entitled to a hearing. At the hearing, the district attorney here would have to prove by the greater weight of the believable evidence that you are the same Zachariah Anderson being sought by the authorities in that state, that you are properly charged under the laws of that state, that you were physically present in that state at the time that the crime allegedly was committed, and that the paperwork commanding your return, a governor's warrant, was properly signed, sealed, and otherwise in proper form. If you didn't want to waive extradition, the procedure would be that the governor of South Dakota would request the governor of Wisconsin to authorize a warrant commanding that you be surrendered to the South Dakota authorities. If Wisconsin's governor honored that request, then you would still have a right to lawfully resist extradition through the procedure of habeas corpus, which involves the hearing I indicated. You'd be entitled to be represented by your attorneys, and I'm being told that you do not wish to have that hearing, but instead to waive extradition. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's my understanding that I'm okay with waiving extradition. The only point of contention in my eyes was some information that's contained in the last paragraph of the contract that I would sign for the extradition. But as far as the extradition itself, no, I'm not disputing that.
When you say the contract, are you referring to the waiver of extradition, the papers that you have there?
Yes.
What part with what part do you disagree, sir?
It says, if I can read it real quick out loud, it says, and I further wholly exonerate David G. Best, Sheriff of Kenosha County, State of Wisconsin, and all persons acting under him from any blame, compulsion, or interference in the connection. With that omitted, I don't really have any argument, but that's specifically exonerating wholly the Sheriff's Department. I don't know what the implications are there, and I don't know that I can agree to that.
Mr. Brost, did you have any objection to striking that paragraph?
No, Your Honor.
All right, just to X that off on each copy. There's 5 duplicate original waivers of extradition. They're all exactly the same. If you understand them and you understand the rights involved and wish to waive extradition, then please sign each of them. If there's anything you don't understand, just tell me, and if necessary, we'll put you in a breakout room with your attorneys. Now, how old are you, sir?
40.
And how far have you gone to school?
I have an associate's degree.
Have you had anything alcoholic to drink today?
No, sir, I have not.
Have you had any drugs or controlled substances of any kind within the last 24 hours?
No, sir.
Is your mind clear today?
It is.
Are you feeling all right?
Yes.
Have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional disorder?
No.
Have you been satisfied with the Have you ever been have you been satisfied with the legal services that you have received in this case?
Yes.
Are you acting of your own free will?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to discuss this matter with your lawyer?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to think about what you're doing?
Yes.
You think what you're doing is the best thing under all the circumstances?
Yes.
Have you been rushed into this?
No.
Have you any questions you wish to ask me or your lawyer before I accept your waiver?
In all honesty, I would like a minute to talk to my attorney, and then we should be able
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll put you in a breakout room with Mr. Birdsall and Mr. Aubert.
Thank you.
Yep. Your fingers. Supposedly it worked okay. No, I don't want to. I'm going to take the chance. There won't be any. I'll call him. We'll take the call if we need to. All right. All right. While they're in there, let's call the case. We need to get Mr. All right, this is the case of the state against Jacob Blake. Appearances, please.
Zeke Wiedenfeld appears for the state.
Jacob Blake by Zoom and Attorney Patrick Cafferty here in the courtroom.
All right, and the matter is here for pretrial today, and there also was a state's motion for admission of other acts which they claim are attributed to the defendant involving other acts of violent attacks on the complaining witness in the case on other occasions. What's the status of the case right now?
Judge, at this point, the case is unresolved. From the defense perspective, we had received that motion yesterday, so I'm asking the court to allow me about a week to respond in writing. We have had some discussions about potential resolution, but we don't have a resolution to present to the court. I believe that Mr. Wiedenfeld and I wish to continue those discussions, and we have a joint request for the court to not hold a Ludwig hearing at this point and hold open the possibility of resolution until the 4th of November, which would be the Wednesday before the trial date.
All right. Mr. Wiedenfeld, is that a correct statement of the situation?
Yes.
All right, then. And I do want to apologize. We had technical issues here. Obviously, you're well aware of them. There was, whenever I attempted to connect the camera, which would have allowed Mr. Cafferty also to appear on the Zoom, it was making an ungodly noise, and the only way we were able to resolve the noise was to put it on. It takes that camera out of service. So if for any reason, Mr. Cafferty, you wanted to go on the Zoom now, I'll move the camera a little bit. You'll be able to see it from the computer here.
No, Your Honor, if my image was the cause of that problem, I don't want to interfere.
Well, it hasn't happened when I've used it before, so
I'm sure it hasn't.
All right. All right, then, let's leave it on. And now this motion involving other conduct attributed to the defendant is that something we should hear with the pretrial if it's unresolved, or?
Yes.
All right. Is that satisfactory, Mr. Wiedenfeld?
Yes.
All right. So that'll be on for hearing that day also. And
today
yeah.
is the pretrial, Judge. So if you wish to reschedule the pretrial, I'm totally fine with that. I think Attorney Wiedenfeld is also. If you want to just have us notify the court on November 4th as to whether we have it resolved, I'd be happy to do that. Any way the court would like to do it.
If it's resolved, we won't need the hearing. So, yeah. Which would be the best way to do it from your standpoint? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it on the Monday of the trial week, because typically we will not start the trial on Monday. That's the last opportunity for hearing these motions and that. So we would do the other crimes, wrongs, and acts motion on that day, should it be necessary. All right, then. Anything else then today?
No, thank you, Your Honor. So as it sits, you wish for us to notify you by the 4th, no later than 5 o'clock, as to whether it's been resolved?
You are correct.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else from the states?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for your patience. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
All right, we're back on the case of Mr. Anderson, and have your questions been resolved, Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, I believe we're ready. I'm just striking the paragraphs right now.
Okay. Has anybody threatened you, pressured you, or forced you in any way to obtain your consent to waive extradition?
No, sir.
Has anybody promised you anything at all in exchange for this?
No, sir.
All right, then, if it is your desire to waive extradition, then please sign each of the 5 originals. If there is anything you don't understand or you want to discuss it further, just tell me, and we'll do whatever's necessary.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, Judge, I'm signed on all 5.
Any reason this waiver should not be accepted, Mr. Birdsall? Mr. Brost?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm satisfied this gentleman is acting freely, voluntarily, intelligently, with understanding of the nature and consequences of his actions. I'm further satisfied that he is acting without compulsion of the authorities here and upon his expressed desire. The waiver of extradition is therefore approved, and pending the disposition of local charges, he may be released to the custody of the agents of the governor of South Dakota upon their arrival. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you all, and have a nice day.
Thank you.